My name is Emily Flores, and the topic I'll be discussing today is 7.2, finding and graphing the inverse of a function. Inverse functions are used everywhere in real-life situations, even if we don't know it. An inverse function can be used by untying a knot, solving a puzzle, or decoding a secret message. However, we can use inverse functions for finding someone's phone number in a phone book, which probably some of us don't even use anymore. For example, if someone calls me on their phone, they look up my number in the phone book, which the function will be from names to phone numbers. But when a caller ID shows who's calling, it performs the inverse of a function, as finding the name corresponding to a number. So the function that I'll be solving today is 5x minus 5. The first step is to solve the inverse by replacing the function with y. Here's the original problem. Now we have to switch y into there. So it'll be y equals 5x minus 5. The second step is switch x and y in the equation. Here we have what we already did in the last step. Now we have to switch these two variables around, which will be x equals 5y minus 5. The third step is solve for y by adding 5 to each side. Here we have x equals 5y minus 5. Now we have to add 5 to each side to get the variable alone, which will be x plus 5 equals 5y. However, the variable is still not isolated. Now finally, to get the variable alone, step 4 is we divide each side by 5. So x plus 5 equals 5y. We must divide this 5 on both sides to get the variable alone, which then now will equal to 1/5 x plus 1 equals y. Now the fifth step is to replace y with the inverse function. So right here we have the equation we have is 1/5 x plus 1 equals y. Now to make it to the inverse, it will equal the inverse of 1/5 x plus 1. Step 6 is to graph the first function. However, we are going to graph the original problem. So the first point we find on here is -5, which is the y-axis. Here's the y-axis. We go down by -5, which is 0, -5. Next, here's 5x. So we go up 5 to the right 1 and do that again, up 5 to the right 1. And there's our first line on the graph. The next step is step 7, which is graph the inverse function on the same graph. So it would be 1/5 x plus 1. Here is 1, which we're going to find on the y-axis. Here it is, 0, 1. The next thing we do is 1/5. So we go up 1 to the right 5. Since we can't go any more this way, we have to go to the left. So we go down 1 to the right 5. And there's our second line. And the last step is step 8, which is label the function and the inverse function. So here we have the first function and the original problem on the line. Then this is our inverse function, which is 1/5 x plus 1. And there is your answer.